Hey guys, Mike here from Sledaddicz. Welcome back to the channel, and wow, have we got a crazy episode for you guys today. As you can see, I'm not sitting on a traditional sled that we would normally be sitting on or riding. I'm sitting on this brand new Arctic 2024 Catalyst that's sitting in my garage. This is the RXC 600. Now, before I get into this video, I want to talk just a little bit about the backstory here. A guy named Jason, who's a longtime subscriber to the channel, and he's been a huge supporter of us over the years since we've been doing this. He reached out to us last year and said that he had a Catalyst coming and he would love to kind of, give it to us, let us try it, let us review it, anything to sort of add, some other dimensions to the channel. And I think, we've been longtime Skidoo guys for a while, and if we could, sure, we'd buy all kinds of sleds. I mean, we've got some Polarises in the fleet with Jesse's family. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, Jason reached out to us when he had this thing coming in, and it was just, I think, last week that he picked it up and he said, hey, it's here, I've got it, let me bring it over to you guys and we can hang out, I'll take you through it, and you guys can do some video work on it. So how cool is that, somebody who's following along the channel and is a huge supporter, again, local to Ontario, he's been awesome, and he showed up last week with this thing, and what a great opportunity for us. So, I'm thrilled, going to spend some time on this video just doing a full overview on the Catalyst. Now, before we get into that, I do want to give you guys some background, because I know, we are hardcore Dew guys and have been riding Dew for, the last 10 years or so. But even before that, I actually have quite a big history with Arctic sleds as well. One of the first kind of earlier sleds that we had in our family was a 1996, was it 96? Yeah, 96 ZR 580. Then one of the first ones that my dad actually got me when I was 18, he brought home a 1999 ZR 500 with 400 miles on it. Beautiful sled. I ran that for a while. Put a whole bunch of Black Magic parts on it and then blew it up at about 3,000 miles. And so we had F1000s after that, a couple of them. We had an 06 Firecat first, an F7, which was the fastest sled I've ever ridden pretty much out of the box. That thing was an absolute rocket ship. And then after the F7, we had the F series. So we had two F1000s. We had a 2007 F1000 and 2008 F1000 Snow Pro. And then it was after that, we got to the 4-strokes, we went to a Z1 when they came out with the 1050. So I've had, a lot of experience with the previous Arctic, and I was pretty excited about the Catalyst anyway, and definitely, had learned a little bit about it last year when they started with some of the pre-release marketing information. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking about the history. What I do want to get into is talk a little bit about this Catalyst 600. So let's get into it. All right, guys. Well, completely redesigned for 2024. Patiently waiting for this absolutely gorgeous looking ZR RXC 600. This one comes with the 600 C-Tech 2, and it's got the new Fox SQ3R shocks. So it's a race version. So I know there's been a lot of great feedback on the SQ3 shocks over the years. You've got 3 settings. They've dialed these ones and you can see they're actually pointing inwards. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a bit, but these are supposed to be an amazing shock. Probably a little bit stiffer, but you still get your coilover adjustments, which is awesome. You've got both compression up there and you've got rebound adjustment there as well. Man, I'll tell you, looking at this thing from the front, this is probably one of the coolest and nicest looking sleds I've ever seen. I think they've done an amazing job on the redesign. Absolutely love the look of it. Kind of cool, you see that first edition there. So it looks awesome. They've got a new spindle redesign as well, so you can see it's kind of bowed out a little bit, and these are really, really tall spindles, which is something that Arctic's been doing for a while. So you've got a lot of space in between those two arms. Same skis. I don't see any difference in the skis, so those are the same as what they've used before. I'm assuming this is going to be a new integrated LED headlight as well. Actually, haven't taken a closer look at it, but it does look really sweet. Love this matte finish on the front with the green, looks absolutely sick. Here's what's also really cool. So they've actually partnered up with Frogskin. So Frogskin's actually making all the vents, and this sled is really well vented all over the place. So you can see Frogskin vents everywhere up front here, just to get into your clutching and belt area. Frogskin vents on this side as well to get through the sled into the brake area. So really nice job, I think they've done on the venting itself. All right, let's show you how the panels pop open on this. So you've got 3 clicks or 3 sort of twisting, you know, mechanisms to sort of turn, and then all you do is it took us a while to kind of get this, but you just pop that down and it folds right down. So I actually quite like that. That's a really cool design, and you know, it just kind of clips in back here. And give you a look at the clutches in here. And you know, they've really jammed everything in. And from what I'm told, the whole sort of design idea behind this sled is to get as much center mass as they could down in the bottom of the sled. So you can see this clutch is actually really low when you look at it, even compared to like the shock, right? And the A-arm. So they've really tried to bring everything down in the sled, which will, I assume, make it ride better and kind of have a much better center mass towards the bottom and front of the snowmobile, which is great. So it's really jammed in there. And then on the other side, same thing. You just clip those, give it a little tug. Oh, one more. And then you get into the exhaust area with your oil bottle. And here's what's brand new and very cool that Arctic Cat has done this year. So they've gone to a belt drive. I don't know, I was surprised to see there's kind of no cover. I wasn't sure if it's supposed to be like this. I'm assuming it is. But full belt drive system, which is great. That's a proven design, you know, that they use on the Harleys and high horsepower bikes. I talked to our buddy Chris Ledger, and he's actually converted his Skidoo 900 to a belt drive this year. So it's definitely, I think, something that you know, guys have been using for some time. And I know in the past, Arctic Cat also had some trouble with those old diamond drives. That I remember I had some issues with those in the past. So this is a whole new approach for them. And you know, I'm sure it's going to work out. I'm sure it's going to work out really well. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, how the belt drive works on these things. Nice big can, ceramic coating. Just a really, really good looking job on the muffler. The good news is, as tight as it is, one of the things I was interested in was how accessible, you know, were the spark plugs, and you can get at them. They're back there. So as jammed as it is in here, they've actually got, because that engine's actually lower in the chassis, they've actually got some good amount of room in there where you can probably get a tool in to change the spark plugs, no problem. So I was really, really impressed to see that. Fuse box right here. And yeah, that'll give you just kind of a quick look at the panels. We'll close that back up. Now I do want to go back to the other side. I'll show you guys something that we did talk about, Jason and I, a little bit. One thing that was kind of surprising to me and is going to be a bit of a pain in the butt is to change the belt on this thing. So there's another piece around here. You can't get that belt out just by opening this panel. You're actually going to have to take off this outer piece, I think, and that'll just take this plastic piece off, so you can probably slide the belt up and out. It's how I think it's done. Now, we haven't tried it yet, obviously, but to be honest, I think that's going to be a bit of a pain. So you got to remove 2 screws, it looks like, on the trail if you have to change a belt. So that, to me, if that's how it's done, could certainly be an issue and not fun to do. But hey, it is what it is. That's how they've done it. Now, what I can say is, you know, sitting on this sled, and again, I'm going to kind of continue on the top here. You know, they've still got the old gauge from, I think this was launched back in 2012, which was somewhat disappointing, but you know, the new ones for next year, obviously we're really excited. It's going to be coming with that new Garmin gauge, which looks absolutely sweet. Jason's also got the Garmin installed right here on this bag, which I thought was a really neat little setup. Pretty nice too, if that's the field of view. You know, you can see it quite easily. So I really like this setup. So that's where his Garmin's gonna go, and it's wired into the sled so that when he turns on the sled, that will power up, which is really sweet. Now, sitting on this sled, I gotta say, this thing feels amazing. It feels like a bike. It feels so small in between the legs. Really, really narrow feel to it. But interestingly enough, when I measured the ski stance, it's actually 43 inches wide. So this is gonna be honestly a wicked sled for trail riding. It's got probably the widest ski stance for anything that I've seen yet. Now I think they say 42, but I measured center to center and it was actually 43. So, you know, I think it's gonna be I think the sled's gonna probably handle amazing, just the way that it's designed, again, with all that kind of weight forward and towards the bottom. It's got a lower center of gravity, and you can even see from the front, you know, how those A-arms are nice and straight. I know it's up on the lift right now, but it really does sit nice and low on the ground. Man, this thing looks unreal, unreal. So again, just you know, back in the seating position, it feels really small and really tight. This kind of reminds me of the Polaris, and it's really more like a bike. You're basically right into able to stand up really easily with the seating position on this machine. You're right there. You're right into the panels on the front when you're sitting on this thing. And it really does feel like a race sled to me. So I think a lot of it is definitely race inspired. This has got a really super aggressive and a very, very firm seat. You can see how skinny the tank is. This really reminds me of a dirt bike. And it's really comfortable. Now, will it be comfortable for long rides? That's questionable. This might be one of those trail mashing sleds that are great for day rides. But I have a lot of question marks right now just in terms of, you know, how it's going to be as kind of more of a day-to-day touring sled. Probably not quite there. First thing, you'd probably need a big windshield for it, which I know that they make. And then, you know, we'll move to the back of the sled in a sec, but I'm just not sure. This seat is really, 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 really stiff. So we'll see how that pans out. Really cool, and I absolutely love this. Composite running boards. They look really slick. They look beautiful on the side of this machine. So they've gone away from kind of a full metal or aluminum running board, and they've inserted you know, these composite running boards and just sort of reinforced the outside edge of these boards. So that's pretty cool. Definitely looks amazing as long as it's strong and holds up. I definitely like the look of that, and I know some of the mountain guys, I think they put those on too, so that's pretty cool. All right, underneath, slide action rear suspension. You've got reinforced rails as well, so again, your Fox clickers on the front shock and on the rear as well. And then it's got reinforced rails on the inside, which is nice. So you've got kind of this added strip of aluminum here, just to kind of reinforce the rear of those rails. They're coming with 4 idler wheels in the back. I know they used to make the other kits for them. Now it looks like they're just coming with all 4, which is awesome. It's got a 1.3 inch Cobra track. So I love the Cobra tracks. This one's, again, it's a really super soft rubber compared to some of the other tracks that are out there. So I imagine this will be nice and grippy. A lot of flex in these tracks. And I'm pretty sure he's got some fast track studs that are going to be going in there pretty shortly. Now he's got, obviously Arctic Cat's got their own system for all their Link accessories, but I talked to Jason and he actually showed me he's picked up this piece from Up North Technologies, which is going to go on instead. And he's going to run his Skidoo Link accessories on the back of this sled, fuel caddy, bags, whatever he needs. So that's a really nice piece from the folks at Up North. I know a lot of guys are converting their Arctic Cats and Polarises, various products from Up North, as well as from our buddies over at South Simcoe Machine. So that's really cool to see that as well. So one of the other things that we did notice, there's two things I think just overall fit and finish, and I think they're getting better, but this was kind of bothering me. So, you know, this sort of, I don't know what this is. I'm assuming this is the heated grips wire that's just kind of hanging down here and flailing around. So I was kind of thinking like something could get caught on that. Anyway, I'm going to, just again, because Jason's been so kind to leave us the sled to kind of walk around and do this video work, I'm going to fix that up for him. And then, it comes with your kill switch now, which is great. I know for a long time they never had that, but it's kind of like Polaris. You've kind of got the two. I still think Skidoo has kind of the upper hand there. So you've got your kill switch as well as your ignition to fire up the sled, and then you've got a nice pull cord in the middle. Now, one of the other things we will show you really quickly, again, just back to fit and finish, is the pull cord itself. It's hard plastic right there and doesn't have a rubber piece on it. And unfortunately, you can already see it's starting to rattle around in there and causing some of the paint to chip away. So again, these are things just from an overall fit and finish standpoint. I think Arctic Cat has absolutely stepped up the game. Not quite there yet, obviously, but they've done a phenomenal job. I think this is going to be a killer sled. I'm really curious about it on the trail. And Jason, he's been kind enough to say, hey, you can give her a go in any time we get some snow. So while we're all sitting here waiting for snow, I'm really hoping I get the opportunity to ride and try this thing out, because I'm certainly curious about it. We did fab up some knee pads for you, Jason. So, I mocked them up while your sled was here, sent those into our manufacturer. So we're gonna have Catalyst knee pads coming out shortly, which is awesome. Definitely exciting, great to see Arctic Cat continuing to innovate and, put some more thinking, more design work into their sleds. This thing is honestly, this is gonna be one of the hottest sleds on snow for sure this year. Coming out in the 858 next year. So definitely curious about it. All right, guys, well, that gives you a bit of an overview and first look, hopefully, at that new 2024 beautiful Catalyst behind me. That's the RXC 600 in a 137. Gorgeous looking sled. Hope you guys like the video, and I'm hoping we'll get this thing out on snow and again, bring you guys some more content, hopefully from the cat world this year. Thanks for watching the video, guys. We'll see you on the next one.